Happy New Year, everybody! I have remade my homemade Odroid-Go Compatible Game Console using this new design. I hope you like it. I carved out a hole in the circuit board so that the whole TFT display is now flat, the same, it won't protrude out from the circuit board. I hope I will make a video to show you how to make the hardware as well as to load the software of the Odroid-Go, including the firmware, boot image, and the SD-ROM into this game console. Check out my previous video for a quick demonstration of my homemade Odroid-Go and how I like the original Odroid-Go, which is cost similar or even cheaper than making one yourself. So I strongly advise anyone who want to own an Odroid-Go, go for the original model. But if you want to challenge yourself, you can always follow this instruction to make one yourself. The good point about making one is you can adjust how you want the buttons to look, whether you want to have a headphone jack, a volume control, or other stuff. It's all by your own design. So good luck, and let's start the tutorial. In this video, I want to show you how you can create your own homemade Odroid-Go. So let's look at the components. First, you need to have this TFT LCD. It's 2.2 inch. You can buy a bigger one, 2.4 inch, but it must have the SPI interface here, and also the SD card interface. Then you have the circuit board. It's the double-sided prototype circuit board, so the front and the back of the same hole is connected together. And you need to get these silence buttons. When I press it, there's no sound. Compared to these three buttons, when you press it, there's a lot of sound. This one has no sound. Then you need to have the most important thing, the ESP32 Wrover board. This is from mainland China, TTGO. It has an embedded TF card, but the TF card pin number does not match with the Odroid-Go software, so we can't use that. That's most unfortunate. So we have to use the bigger SD card that comes with the LCD. And these are the pins that you can freely connect to the matching GPIO pin number of the Odroid-Go. And of course, you need to have this SD card slot converter. If you're using TF, put the TF here. This card is a bit shorter, so it won't extend too much outside of the LCD when it's being used. So what we do is
we need to use this
to
cutter
measure
to cut out
which
this
part
holes.
we need to cut out and use a drill and fit it in with a small saw. Be careful, it's very sharp, you can cut off your finger, so be careful with that. It's not certainly not for children to do.
There's only two contacts. Let's solder in the pins. Okay, this is what we'll take. Let's put it together and see how it looks from the outside. Okay, nice. I've soldered some wire to secure the LCD in place, and also I soldered some other wires with a washer rubber screw so I can mount the ESP32 there. Next, let's start the soldering. Before we do that, let's look at the pin layout. So this is the Odroid-Go pin layout. I wrote it down after referencing the Odroid-Go official schematics on the open source GitHub. So the first pin layout is about the display. You can see there's a lot of pins here. each pin is connected to the TFT controller for the LCD. So these are all the pins. So they correspond to the pins on the right of the screen there. VCC, ground, CS, and so on. You just need to connect it to the right pin on the ESP32. Similarly for the TF card, or in this case we're using the SD card, we are also associated pins. They are connected through some resistors. So we're going to use this type of surface mount resistors. It is 10K, and you can buy it from the electricity shop. You have to buy a whole bunch. You can't just buy one. We need just 4 10K resistors. So we can take it out and just solder it at the back here where we need it. The reason why we don't use conventional resistor is we want to reduce the thickness of the circuit board. A conventional resistor occupy more than 1 cm, so make the soldering and realignment harder. Okay, so the up button connects to the IO35, and then IO35 connects to the 10K resistor to ground, same as the left button. The down button first connects to the start from an 8 gig minimum up to 32 gig or even 64 gig depending on how many games you want to put on the ROMs. You can put thousands of ROMs, game ROMs into the SD card if you got a 32 gig memory card. So this is the Odroid-Go SD card that I have. So it has a number of directory, some of the third-party software like Duke 3D, and then there's a directory called Odroid where all the standard Odroid-Go firmware are loaded, including all the emulators. Most important one is the Go Play that will do the popular game emulations for Nintendo, Sega, or other emulators. Then you have the MicroPython. You can switch to MicroPython programming by selecting that in the put-up menu. You also have other type of emulators, Duke, Doom, and other games. So the data is used to save your game. So different emulator has their own directory. For example, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Master System, and so on. And then this is the cheat sheets that are included. I just download it in case I need to reference it again. There's a directory called ROM Art. It's where some of the displayed for that game emulator. And then the most important one is the ROMs directory. This is where you store all your game ROMs. You can download from the internet. So for example,
copyright issue, but it will be easy to search for any game you like from the Nintendo game system or other game system, and just put in the suffix of ROM, and you should be able to find it and copy it into those folders, like what I just showed you. Okay, besides using the default instruction and file, there are some more exciting ones called the third-party firmware. Let me check. Should be here. Here. Yeah, click on Odroid-Go, and then just follow these instructions. Yeah, there's a thing called third-party apps and games download pack. So it included everything that I just showed you. You can first download the skeleton file from here. This one is more up-to-date than the one in the tutorial above. And then the third-party games, yeah, it's here. It stores in some online storage system, so you click this to download the entire list of folders, including the Go Play, including some of the other emulators. But it excludes MicroPython, so for MicroPython you need to use the previous skeleton files. Okay, that's it. Once you finish making this removable media, just insert it into your SD card jacket, and then insert the whole SD card at the back of your Odroid-Go homemade kit. Now let's browse to this Odroid-Go wiki websites and follow the instructions there to download the boot up image for our Odroid-Go compatible. First, let's connect the USB cable from our computer to this device. So right after the connection, you should see the power button, power LED light up. Yes, that's it. Then browse to the part that says firmware updates. Depending on which operating system you are using, Windows, Linux, or Mac, you can use the tools provided to put the boot up image onto the ESP32 for the Odroid-Go. I'm using a Mac, so I follow this instruction. It requires you to run a tool called ESP2. I created a script to run ESP32 to first erase the memory, as it's a new device, so it could take up to 25 seconds to erase the memory. Once memory is erased, the next command is to put the boot image of Odroid-Go onto the flash. So this part is quite fast, only take a few seconds. If all is good after you flash the ESP32 with the Odroid-Go boot up image, you'll get this main menu. You can reference to this cheat sheet from the Odroid-Go wiki site and just copy it here for reference. Please always go back to the original source. In the boot up menu, you can see all the different firmware. Each icon there represents one firmware. So you have at the top some of the older machines, newer emulators. That is not part of the Go Play software. Then when we scroll down, we'll find Doom and even MicroPython and some other computer. Now let's start the Go Play. This is the powerful emulator that can emulate up to 6 game emulations, including Game Boy, Nintendo game system. So it will now write the Go Play firmware into the ESP32's flash memory. So it writes into different parts. I think it contains at least 4 different parts. So it's erasing and writing and erasing and writing until all 4 parts are done. So be patient. This only needs once after it's done. Unless you want to change to another firmware, Go Play will still be there, and you just need to load the game ROMs to start playing a new game. The Go Play is very good because it will save all your game by default. So whenever you try to exit or power down, you will go right back to where you left off after you power up again. Okay, it's almost done. It will reboot, and then you will see the Go Play game menu. So you see different type of emulators. Then let's choose one of them and start playing. Okay, press the A button, B button to go back, and then you can press the volume button to turn louder or softer. Press and hold the start key while pressing the up or down button to change the brightness of the LCD. To play a game, let's first choose the emulator you want. Let's choose the Nintendo Entertainment System. Hit A to go to that system, and then go to the list of game, press up or down to select a game, and A to start the game. At any time you want to quit and go back to the main menu, just press the top left menu button to go back. In case your game is stuck or the system hung and nothing displayed, just turn off the device and then hold the menu button while you turn on the device. This will reset the game system and go back to the main menu. you.